Podcast, it's the podcast season. We have now arrived at the 2026 World Cup champion, Le Victoire de Montreal. Here we go. So, across their 30 games, the Victoire had a record of 16. 6-2-6. So 16 regulation wins, 6 OT wins, 2 OT losses, and 6 regulation losses. So combine that together, that's only 8 losses overall in the regular season. Out. They scored. That's a total of 62 points, by the way. They scored 78 goals, and they conceded 41. That's a goal differential of plus 30. Yeah, plus 37. Woo! The highest in the league. Wow. Okay, so for the big spot, this World Cup, it kind of felt like, 3 years in the making. Because in Season 1 and Season 2, the Big 12 had been very, very good in the regular season. Never been outside the top 2. Okay. Always had home advantage. But they could never quite get it over the line in playoffs now. No, I mean, especially last year when they actually chose Ottawa, and then the Charge Bands literally threw it back in their face. Oh yeah, they did not let the Big 12 forget it. They did not let them forget it, and rightly so. Yeah. But that was just rule. But this year they managed to turn that corner. They finally managed to get over the line. They won their first playoff series. Even became the first team in the league to choose their opponent and win. Yes, it came at our expense, but like we said already, there is no hard feelings about that, Big 12 fans. You absolutely, urge your way to that World Cup this year. The only disagreement we can have is who actually should have been playoff MVP. That's the only disagreement we can have, but no, there's no hard feelings at all. But yeah, just incredible. And you look at who they've had on that roster, Captain Clutch, Marie Fleet-Peled, Laura Stacey, Haley Scamara, and, well, she's not there anymore, no, Amne Despier, who is still sticking around, Elle Ambrose, no longer on the team, which you called, yeah. So much star power, and yet for some reason in the past, it wasn't clicking, it wasn't gelling, but also largely due to the lack of depth scoring, yep. Yeah. Because if you look at our 2 World Cup Championships in 2024 and 2025, a big piece of how we got those, apart from the netminding tandem, was also our depth scoring. I mean, look at Katie Knoll in Game 3 of last year's Spars, getting that triple overtime winner. She was our final pick in the 2024 draft. She was a 7th rounder, yet here she was in her rookie year, making the most of her opportunity to win a World Cup. Montreal had always kind of lacked that depth scoring, and yet oh did it arrive in buckets full. Yeah. Oh did it arrive in spades. Okay? So they managed to finally, turn a corner. But to start the season, it didn't look like that. Yeah. It's interesting, because going into this season, I personally thought the Big 12 had a very high chance of making it back-to-back league titles. Now, at the end of the day, they did. You got... at least one picture you made came true, George. And then they did, but they had a very slow start, which is odd because Montreal's losses in last year's expansion process were not as big as their losses this year. Okay, so it's a bit of a slow start this upcoming season. Yeah, totally understandable given how you lost Ambrose and you lost Gamora, you lost Nicole Gosling. Okay, you lost big there. But the fact they were having a slow start this season was a bit bizarre because they had done so in the off-season to build a really competitive roster. But they entered the break for Loyalty. They ended in a plus, but they ended in third. They were in third place, or was it second place? Might have been third. Might have been third. Yeah. So they entered in third. The break in third place. that was nowhere near where I thought this team should be. I felt this team was really performing under par compared to the levels that they should be at. So in that second half, they really turned it around, which was interesting because for a lot of that second half, they had to play without Marie-Philippe Poulin. Literally, I think that's the first game back. They lost us straight away, and everyone's like, oh, what are they going to do now? But yet they proved they can cope without her, and they did really well, to get back into a position where they were really find their stride. And might as well, why they are seen as a perennial cup contender like the Frost are. In fact, the Victoire and Frost are the only two teams to have an active playoff streak and make the playoffs every single year. Just saying. No, so I was not surprised when they did finally go with that second half. They were starting to now go on this run. Did they match Tio's point streak from year one? I think they did match the point streak, or might have even eclipsed Tio's point streak from year one. Obviously not the win streak. No one's going to beat that win streak. Not unless we get to a 40, 56 games schedule. So I think they eclipsed Tio's point streak from year one. It was just incredible to see them in that second half to just go on a tear. It was like, oh no! Yeah, oh no! I don't want to be the one that has to face them in the playoffs! Yeah. Let's go to that, because obviously, this is what I don't get, guys. This is what I don't get. Okay. We, as a franchise, the Frost, we have always struggled in Montreal. Okay. We've only ever had, before the playoffs this year, we only ever had one win in 3 seasons at Place Bell. Right. Now, this season, Montreal won all 4 games in the regular season series. 2 were shutouts, and 2 were in overtime winners, courtesy of Captain Clutch. You do the math. You do the math. If the choice is between Ottawa, who knocked you out of the playoffs this time last year, or 2-time World Cup champion Minnesota, whose arses you whooped during the regular season, you do the math. Who do you think the Victoire are going to take? You do the fucking math. Okay? And yet it pissed me off that all the conversations with PWHL were so surprised the Victoire chose us. Because were you surprised, lady? No. Pluto? I was just dreading it. But were you surprised? No. And you and me? No. We knew. We knew you were going to do it. We spent the entire of the last 4 weeks of the regular season literally just in agony because we knew that it was very highly likely the Victoire had got spots 1 and 2 wrapped up. If it was the Victoire at number 1, they were absolutely taking us. We knew it. We knew we were going to do it. So I don't get why it was such a big surprise to everyone else that the Victoire chose us. It should have been surprised. They whooped us in the regular season. You do the fucking math. You do the fucking math on who they're going to choose. It wouldn't have been Miura. Especially when they also knew that Ottawa had got the better of Boston in the regular season series. So if you're thinking about a Boston Ottawa, who's going to be a bigger threat to you in the World Cup finals, it would be Boston. So it makes sense to give Boston a team they struggle against the regular season series in the small chance that Boston gets knocked out. And they did! They did! So basically, hats off Victoire. Hats off Daniel Saviano. She knew what she was doing. She picked her poison. She picked it well. And now I'm not quoting Rita Ora. Okay, she knew what she was doing. She chose a chalice and she picked it well. And you can't say better than that. Like, I literally respected the pick. I remember when we went to pick out, you two were wincing. I kept trying to say, oh, I understood what was going on here. I respect the move. And poor Pluto literally kept what she kept screaming at me? Stop praising them! Stop praising them! Yeah, because I knew what they were doing. I knew, because it's the exact same move that I would make. Montreal basically played my move against me. It's like being on Big Brother, and the HOHs used my own move against me, and I'm now on the block and probably on my way out to see Julie Chen. They used my move against me. You know, so I can't say fair. You can't say fair enough. I had to respect the move, but I did because it was my move. Okay, but it was just you do the math. You do the math, and also the Big 12 this season, like Boston, were just unstoppable on home ice. Not many teams. I know we weren't one of them, but not many teams managed to get a scratch on the Big 12 plus spell. So you just look there and think, oh my bloody god, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. No. But we did get game one. We did get game one. And again, the commentary team again made my blood boil. Where was it the man one? Yeah. So Jinsey Rose gets the game winning goal game one. I'm at home to go, play our song! Play our song! And the bloody man commentators never forgot, basically said, Minnesota steals game one. No. Always go to the camera. No. Did you watch that game you were commentating? Who led all the way through game one? Who led all the way through game one? Who also managed to respond every time the Big 12 got a goal back? The Minnesota Frost did not steal game one. We earned game one. If the Big 12 won it, fair dues, because the Big 12 did not play well that game. They never even led at all during that game. No. But we did not steal game one. We did not steal game one. So, fuck off! Fuck off! This is why you do not put male commentators on women's sports! Yep. Because they make your blood boil while I swear on your own damn podcast! Yep. Just dreadful. Dreadful. No. But the Big 12, they played well, and you have to give credit to them, mainly because of Anna Desbian. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I know I said all year long it should be Aaron Franco to get that gong, but she did try to make a case. Oh, she did. She did try to make a very good case onto why she should make it back-to-back gongs. She made a very good case, and if you was to ask me, I think RAD is the big reason, maybe the sole reason, as to why the Big 12 were able to hoist that cup at CTC. And I do think that she should have been Perth MVP. There! I said it! Well, we all basically shook our heads when Catchclickles were like, really? You guys choose her over Desbian? Or Abby Rock, who actually got a couple of goals in the playoffs that were big, huge markers. Like, really? Fine. We did say MPP was the safe option, but fair dues. Fair dues. She did come up bigger in the semi-finals against us, so fair dues. But should have gone to Desbian. Because I felt, some of those saves that she made were absolute highlight reel moments. I would dare you go watch all those back. Just incredible. And she is made of real tough stuff as Desbian. She very rarely, A, gives up more than 2 goals a game, and B, lose multiple back-to-back starts. It's very, very rare for Desbian to lose back-to-back nights. That's why when the Big 12 went up 2 in the series, I thought the cup was well and truly theirs, because Ottawa would have had to have beaten Desbian 2 times in Ottawa, and then would have had to win back in Plus Bell to complete the reverse sweep. Now, it's doable, and of course, obviously, we did it to TO in Season 1, but the difference there was, it was a semi-final series and not the finals. So there's a lot more pressure on the line in this series than it was in that one, okay? But I just looked at Desbian and thought, no. You might be able to force the Game 5, but then the Big 12 win it in Game 5, which would have been a more bigger party than you got in CTC, because it would have been on home soil. But I just kind of thought, I agree, George. Once Montreal won Game 2, it was pretty much, okay, this cup's going to be theirs. The question is, was it going to be done in a sweep, or would it be done in 4? If it had been done in a sweep, that would have been my first sweep since the Coral Cup finals of 2016. That's the only time I've seen a sweep in a championship round when it comes to hockey. I've never seen it in all my 17 years in the NHL. It's only happened once in my now 11 years involved with the AHL. That was my first ever Carl Cup back in 2016 when the Cleveland Monsters, who backed up with the Lake Erie Monsters, won their Carl Cup in 2016. So the Victoire had done it, that would have been the first sweep for me since that Carl Cup in 2016 for Cleveland. But alas, no, not to be. I'm quite glad it was, because otherwise I would not got them in the sun. Would not got them in the sun. So thank you, that Ola. But yeah, let's talk Abbey Rock, because we all remember our reactions to that trade on the draft floor in our last year. We were all gobsmacked. And we were basically we couldn't believe it. Yeah, because basically, the player she was, we were kind of thinking, really? Really? Montreal wants to trade this player? Really? Okay, on your own spirit, it's your funeral. And I'll wear yellow if I want to. Yeah. Christmas, sunshine, magic, but she slid in really nicely. Yeah, because you did wonder, how's a player like that gonna cope being with Marie Fleet player Laura Stacey? They were not gonna put up with her shirt. Nope. Especially as they are day one Victoire players, and she's just coming on a trade from a team that's not even got even close to making the playoffs. Great. So it was, I agree, George. It was quite surprising how she slotted in nicely, and she was a really good acquisition for the Victoire in the end. And it was just like, wow, she's just really proven her stripes. Yeah. Really proven why she deserves to be on the roster. So I was so blown away by how she performed for the Victoire. And the good news is for the Victoire fans, she's staying. She is staying. It was a bit of a question mark over the expansion process, given how we knew that obviously Stacey, Desbiez, and Pellet were going to have to be locked in and protected. The big question mark was, could they keep hold of Abbey Rock or not? And they did manage to. Was it before the draft? I think it was literally before the draft. The signing happened. She resigned, right? Okay, yeah. So it's literally just right before the drafts. Okay, that was why I didn't really. That's why I didn't probably notice at the time. Next, I'll see the draft. Yeah. So the good news for Victoire fans is she's staying. Given how you've lost both Scamora and Ambrose, you kind of need a player like Rock to still be on your roster. Isn't Flaherty also still on the roster? Yeah, she has. Yeah, she has resigned. So Rock and Flaherty, 2 acquisitions from last off-season, are staying put with the Victoire next season. Alright, that's done. That's done and dusted. That's sorted. So that's going to be good for the Victoire. 2 key players of the championship roster are still going to be there next season. So that could really help, make up for what they have lost already in the process. Because obviously Scamora going, Ambrose going, and Gosling going are huge blows, given how the Victoire kind of got lucky getting Gosling in last year's draft. I still think that's a pick the Victoire look at and go, thank you! Yeah, well, you didn't do much to keep hold of, did ya? It seems to be tradition now, isn't it? That in expansion, Heroine Knight has to go to somewhere new, and somebody has to lose a player with a surname called Gosling. It's becoming tradition now, isn't it? It's got a bit of a naughty tradition now. Anyway, so what do we think the Victoire's chances are next year? I know me and Lady would prefer somebody else to win the cup, because we feel like we'd rather see more first timers right now, compared to back-to-backs, but obviously a back happens. How do you think? I personally don't know. I mean, a lot of the players who are part of that championship roster are still staying there. A lot of the core is still there. But given how some of the other teams look like they've really bolstered up their rosters, I don't think the Big 12 tournament is going to be as easy as they might think it is. Because they might look to us and thought, oh yeah, well, the Frost can do it. Yep. Then so could we. Yep. But I don't think that title defense is going to be as easy as it was. Plus, our title defense last year wasn't easy. I'm telling you now, if anybody thought last season we found it easy to defend that title, we did not. We did not. Because you got to remember, going into the World Championships last year, we were outside the playoff picture. We were outside the field. There was a chance that we could have been eliminated and not go to the playoffs at all. So if anybody thinks that last season defending that title was easy, it wasn't. It wasn't. Especially when we got to the finals and Ottawa were just literally giving us a run for our money. George nearly died. That's how bad it was. George nearly died. Four times. 4 times. Practically after every game of the series, I had to restart your heart, George. You nearly died. Yeah, but the point is, a lot of Big 12 fans might think, oh, well, the Frost can do it. We can. But you're going to learn, especially as now 4 more teams coming in. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Make the most of it while you can. Because you've got 4 new teams coming in who are all going to be hungry because they've got something to prove to the world that they can be up there with the best of them. So, and they're not going to make the same mistakes that Seattle Vancouver did this past season. So, well, you know my preference. Yep. I would prefer it to be dethroned next year so someone else can have them in the sun. Yeah. It's nothing personal, Big 12. It's just me and Lady Kai feel right now we would like to see more first timers win it. And then maybe when once the league's had a good, like, say, 10, 15 years in the belt, then you can have some more repeat winners. But right now, we'd like as many people to have their first chance with the cup as possible. So it's nothing personal. Just, don't expect us to give you our backing if you make playoffs next year. Just saying, because we want someone new to win. Or us. Or us. Because, just because we got dethroned this year doesn't mean we can't come back swinging the next. Okay? Let's just leave it at that. But honestly, when the Big 12 went into the playoffs, they just literally went on a tear. It was like they were literally unstoppable. They didn't even lose back to back at any point. Nope. No, they didn't even at all. Nope. They were literally like a machine when it got to playoffs. And it was just like no one could really stop them. Not even us. We did try. But alas, not to be. It's okay. It's all good. There are no hard feelings. And what I would say to the Big 12 fans while we are in off season, please make the most of your time celebrating. Okay, please use the off season to have your celebrations like we did in 2024 and 2025. Because once the season rolls around again, it's go time. You have to start thinking right and concentrate on the current season that is now in. So basically, once that banner goes up to the rafters in Plas Bell on opening night, when it goes to the rafters, that's it. It's there. It's done. No one takes that away from you. But now your focus is on the 2026-27 season, and then it's go time. Let's see what you can do as defending champs. Okay. So literally, from one World Cup champion to another, make the most of the summer, make the most of the season to have your celebrations, because when we get to the start of the season again, it's go time, and it's down to business, okay? So that would be the advice we would give to you, going into the off-season, okay? So, that is going to be all for this report card from Montreal. Until next time, take care, don't cut all the freeze.